Okay, I'm going to give my thoughts on a bunch of different knives. I'm going to go through them quick so you can see what they are and give you some pros and cons. I'm going to start out with fixed blades. Here's a little inexpensive neck knife. It's called Toe Knife. It's got G10, not bad, sharp. Is 1976 case. It's actually in real good condition. The staining is common. Um, that's a nice one. Three blade charade, older one. Same deal, 70s. El Cheapo, Ozark Mountain, Walmart knife. But the handle is wood. It's good. It can be held like this, not bad. Little skinning knife. Very inexpensive. This is a charade or camelus. I don't know. I put this handle on here. The handle was rubber, and I shaped the tip the way I want it. This is a very, very good caping knife or small game knife. As it can be held in a lot of different positions. Choke up. What I also like is I hold knives like this when I try to open up an animal, and you go around with it. The handle's very comfortable. It gets fatter at the back. If I designed knives, this is what they would be. This is very useful, very good blade design. Another cheapo, I think it's called Olera, but G10, nice thick stock. Doesn't just barely fills the hand, so don't know if it's going to be that good. But if you planned on beating something up and you didn't want to spend a lot of money, I mean, I think this is less than $20. Sharp, pointy. It's got a harpoon point. Decent steel. They say it's D2. Don't never know when you buy something very cheap. Another China knife, very cheap, but it's polished. It says D2 on it. Looks like we got micarta handles here. Can choke up on this. Again, a dropping handle that rounded back fits in your hand like this, plus rounded handles like this give you a reverse grip, and you put your thumb over the top for the ultimate in being able to stab without getting yourself hurt. So, and looks like little decorative pins or screws. I was surprised by this knife. Nice thick stock. Again, $20 or under. Mm. This is what you want to stay. I consider staying away from Ozark Trail Thing, Walmart knife, $3. It'll do something, but it may snap, may hurt you. Don't know. Thin handle, very uncomfortable. Don't like it, but there it is. This is the Cold Steel Roach Belly. It's $14. It's cheap because it's stamped out. It's very thin, and it's metal that's stamped out and probably machine ground. But it's a nice handle. Again, that comfortableness where it gets fatter at the back. This knife is extremely sharp. It may be the sharpest one out of every knife I have from the factory. This little roach belly with the sweep up is an excellent skinner. I know a lot of guys use them. The thinness of it lends to the sliceability of it. Cold steel. Another cold steel. It's SRK. This is the brand new type that they make where the ricasso here is very small. It's not big ass ricasso like you used to have, and you have less cutting blade. Plus, it's now hollow ground instead of flat ground. This is a green handle one. Uh, it's a full size. It's got an excellent sheath to it. It fits like a glove, obviously, and it's molded to it. It's great. Grippy handle. Oh, this knife, from what I understand, I saw a little while ago, is the basic issue knife for the Navy SEALs going through the BUD program. Um, I had won one on a bet from a friend a long time ago, and this was sent to me free. So I'm giving this to him. This is, yeah. Here you go, Glenn. It's got a nice sheath. Another cold steel. This is called a survivalist, but it's definitely a fighting knife. I don't know, whatever they say. The it's drop forged out of one solid piece of steel. This is one hunk of 5100, I think. This knife is perfectly balanced, and when you hold it, you don't feel any weight heavy. And this knife can be swung around wicked fast. Nice tip, nice, not super thick either, very strong, dependable blade. This is truly a great fighting knife. Uh, Back to a slightly cheaper one. This is a Camaro, whatever the hell it is, but I think it's got some micarta or D2 on it. Uh, so micarta D2. It's got a decent sheath. This has a leather sheath to it, and again, very, very inexpensive knife. But I'm not really hip on that style of blade. But full tang, so affordable. There's a Mora, maybe one of the most iconic bush knives there is ever made. I just got one because I never had one. Well, I had one many, many years ago, but anyway, this is their newer one. It's got some new type of stainless steel they're using, and it's Scandi grind. Doesn't have a secondary bevel. The bevel here goes straight to a zero apex. Great for getting down on an angle and carving and all that. This I'm gonna want to put through its paces. So recent buy. This was $14, I think. Here I have an Ozark Trail Kmart jobber. Not real good, but not real bad. So very inexpensive. If you needed a camp type hunting knife on a budget, it's not bad, but I'm not going to recommend it. Here I have another little neck knife and the sheath. Let me pop that off. The sheath you could wear around your neck. This is similar to the knife that I made. It'd be in a drop point, a little sweep back to the handle. It can be held a few different ways. Only gives you a 3-finger grip. Wood handle bolted on tight. Very inexpensive, but very effective little knife. Decent. Now we're on to a Schrade Model 52. They call this the sharpened pry bar. It's 5-inch blade with 1/4-inch thick stock of 1095. You'd be hard pressed to break this. If you broke it, you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. One of the best survival knives, though it's heavy. I mean, this is not going to fail in any normal abuse. It's saber ground, so it's flat here and doesn't go all the way to the top. Can choke up. This knife had a nasty like truck bed coating on it, real ugly paint. I stripped it off, took the hands off, stripped it off, and I cold blued it with gun blue. So I like that now at this point. This is a Walmart, but it's Camillus Carnivore. It's like a 12-inch blade, decent, comfortable handle. They made some full tang, some not. Obviously, the metal poking out the back here. It's full tang, but it tapers down pretty small. I wouldn't trust this for much of anything. Uh, I don't know, baton with it, chop with it, but it comes with another little tiny knife. If you want it's a survival knife, dig with it because the dull point or the squared off chisel point, go for it. Uh, $25. There you go. Ontario Knife and Tool Company, 1/4-inch thick stock, 5160 steel. The guy who supposedly he treats these is considered the king of 5160. I watched this knife get bent 90 degrees in a vise and not snap. took a bend but didn't break. So 5160 is car leaf spring steel for the most part. Very old but very good. This knife is so sharp it's crazy scary. I don't even want to mess with it. So I know it can take a very, very keen edge. This is a 10-inch razor blade. It can be choked up on here. This is called the bushcraft. Okay, so 10-inch bushcraft. Handle, walnut, decent. I had to shape it a little bit to make it nicer than it was. Didn't come really that good. But if you want a really good chopper, if you like big knives, $60. Okay. El Cheapo Walmart, but a good handle. And I would recommend this one. It's thin, but full tang, and this is a comfortable handle. It's got a little give to it, but it's hard. This came very sharp. That one I would recommend. And to talk about these knives and their actions and stuff, this is a Schrade Delta class. I guess they make them a little bit better than some of their other ones. It's a liner lock with aluminum handles, and it's a flipper, and it has ball bearings in it. Okay, in the pivot. It's got a nice detent. The side when you have a flipper knife, buy one. You should buy them about this size, so they fit in the bottom of your palm here. If it's too long, it wants to kick out when you flip them. And this one has a hard detent, so you hold on to it well. Bang! It rockets out. It's got a modified sheepsfoot blade. Blade is centered, thick, tough. Uh, you can see a really thick liner, so it won't fail, or be hard pressed to fail this one. I would. This is a good, decent knife. There you go. Next, CRKT, gentleman's knife, I would call it. It's a Rogers design. It's called a Symmetry because it's got a nice anodized pocket clip. It's symmetrical, and they call this a Mohawk flipper or a top flipper instead of the back flipper. You reach around, and easy flipping, very good design. I'm really impressed with this one, even though it's CRK, which they're affordable. So, but this one does not have a lock; it's a slip joint. So I think it's the only slip joint I have, except for the case knives I showed you. Um, this is assisted opening. It does not have bearings. It has a Teflon. Uh, I'm disappointed with this because people touted it. Blah blah blah. No, it wasn't expensive. I still, when you have nylon bushings and it does open. It's a little slow to open. The blade is decent, but the lockup is not strong. You'll have side play if you don't have uh, ball bearings or bronze bushings. I like the small pocket clip, so it's okay, but I have to force it down in this assisted opening. Most of the other ones are not. This is a CRK Richard Rogers design too. I like some of his knives because his blades go all the way into the handle, and they look nice. This is not aggressive looking or anything. They tune them very well. This has ball bearings, and this one rockets open also. Nice, strong, like the blade. How could you go wrong with something like that? I mean, it's called a Quattro, I think so. And open back design. I like that. You'll see some of them like that where any dirt and debris and all that just falls through and you can clean it out. It's real easy, unlike closed back knives. CRKT Richard Rogers. This is an excellent knife from Civivi that some people overlook. It's got ceramic ball bearings, gold anodized liners that are smoothed out. This is G10 handle. Um, Again, really good quality you get from Civivi. They're not the cheapest, but they're not super expensive. This does not have a thumb stud, so you could hold it, and I'm sure you could open it this way if you had to, but it's primarily just a flipper. It's a Flipper sticks out quite a bit. Could be a little small. It's got some jimping on it, but the blade, that spear point or leaf type blade they call it. There's a lot of blade. It's flat ground, very very good. Um, this is OS 8, I think, or D2. Choke up on it, a little jimping here, really really good. You do a lot of work with this. If you want a good quality working knife, don't pass up the Praxis. It's got some finger grooves, really seriously tight grip. Reverse grip is excellent because the back has a roundness to it, and they use that. This is a liner lock to hide a lot of the blade. When I opened it, I said I didn't think that much blade would be coming out of that size knife. This is a knife that I wanted the original ever since I was a kid. This is an Almar copy. It's a copy of the Almar Talon. They're, I don't know how much they cost. I would imagine 1 to 2 thousand for a real Almar. This one is assisted opening too. So there you go. But that is the reason it's called the Talon. Kind of looks like a bird's talon. Wicked pointy, wicked sharp. Will do your cutting and whatever you want to do. This is a frame lock, by the way, and frame locks are stronger than liner locks. Thumb stud and flipper. So strong, not really that thick, but I doubt it would be snapped. I would use this as an everyday carry, and in a self defense situation, you got the nice reverse grip, and I could plunge this into just about anything. Made by Kershaw. Another Kershaw. This one a little disappointing. It's a flipper. It just does, the detent sucks. That's does have ball bearings, but good luck trying to let this thing flip out if you needed it for a reason. Super heavy, cheap, but that one wouldn't recommend. No good. Columbia River Pete, fairly new. This one is not a flipper, has the thumb opening here. This one has, again, nylon bushings. Not fond of that, but it seems to be nice and tight for now. Good little pocket carry, so decent. And they cut this out here so you can get to your thumb for the liner. I mean, I've heard good and bad about them. A little blue anodizing in the back. Uh, this is another Ontario knife company. This is the Carter Prime. Everybody dogs this knife, and I don't know why. It's got a nice thick titanium. This all is perfectly smooth. A couple things they did here: the relief cut for the liner lock, for the frame lock is done on the inside instead of the outside, so you got a nice look, and you don't have a big cutout right here. Um, Also, the metal lock tab that's in there, instead of titanium lock to metal, it's metal to metal, is peened in from the inside. It's in there, but you can't see it. It's not bolted or peened from the outside. Again, clean looks. A really nice milled pocket clip, titanium milled pocket clip. I like milled pocket clips because they're comfortable versus metal wire ones and all that other stuff. This has ball bearings, but they're loose. They're not caged ball bearings where you would have like 6 on one side, 6 on the other. There's at least 25 ball bearings on each side, 50 little bunch of little tiny ones, which allows for a liquid smooth opening. This is one of the smoothest knives there is. It never fail. Really, really big lockup. Man, it locks up over halfway, and this grind is almost perfect. There you go. Maybe you can see that. Again, a modified sheep's foot. It's for cutting. This knife is a good working horse cutting knife, and it's really not that expensive. Um, and Carter, I guess he's a known knife maker. I think he did a good job. People don't like it. It doesn't hold good, very good there, but I'm not afraid of having this. I know if I grip tight enough, I would hold it like this, and I would get an excellent straight cutting, utility type cutting out of this. I like this knife. It's very, very good. Almost custom quality knife right here. Here's a newer one, sativa or I don't know, Stevian, something like that. I wanted a Axis lock, like because Benchmade's Axis lock patent wore out. Everybody's making them. So this is one of the cheapest ones, just to see if I like it. You could use the thumb stud, open it up, okay, but it's basically one hand opening all the time. If you pull back on this bar lock, they call them all different kinds of locks now. The best way is to just open the knife, closed, open. And this is a good reason to show you what ball bearings are all about. I'm holding this knife, and you can see how smooth it rolls. But when you open this, it has zero side to side play. You would think that knife is loose, the blade is loose. It's not at all. It locks up very, very well with no play. That's what ball bearings give you. Over the past 10 years, they've come more and more with ball bearings. So this is a under $30, and it's an Axis lock or bar lock. This is a fairly new one. This is made by a company called Petrified Fish. It's a button lock. I didn't have a button lock. This is their first button lock they made, and my first button lock that I have. I want different types of locks at this point. This is not that expensive, but it's incredible quality for the money. I can't recommend Petrified Fish enough, and I had no idea what I was getting because it's mail order. All of these came through the mail. This is a machined titanium clip where it's bolted from the back. So that's a nice look. That's a classy look sticking out of your pocket. If I seen that out of some guy's pocket, I say he's probably got a nice expensive knife there. The hardware, instead of T6, is T8. Bigger, stronger, easier to, less likely to strip, easier to deal with. This is a ceramic ball bearing knife also. And it opens real good, well designed. Where they put that thumb stud, they did it right. That opens real well. Okay, and to close, there you go. One-handed opening. Keeps your fingers out of the way. All of that. It's nice, a minimal little tab. That's a nice little tab, and it flicks open real good. It's a really wicked point on this. I don't know if they machine grind it or what, but it comes to a wicked point. This is K110 steel. Not bad. These liners are very thick for liners. So I don't know how strong button locks are, but they recess this one, and it's a small one so you don't accidentally push it. So there is a lot of thought and engineering put into this for very cheap. This is my carry knife right now. This is it. This is a great EDC knife. Here we have a CRKT. This is a Vesper. Yeah, I think Vesper designed this. This is another assisted opening. It's the right size. That it almost has too much kickback. So this thing is a very, very strong spring. It's not failing you. Decent grip. Green G10. Wide open. Just a little brass backspacer here. So just to keep this video short, I'm going, it's a liner lock, blah, blah, blah. Here we got a nice Kubi German knife. Really nice blade. Everything about this is very high quality. All the machining, everything involved with it, titanium, anodized titanium. But again, to make an example, here's the cutout for the frame lock. You can see it. There's the screw for the lock bar insert. Titanium clip. This may be machined. I don't know. This is D2. Very, very good D2. This thing holds an edge. Unbelievable. Really good. I used to carry this a little bit. It's smooth as silk. As you can see, I mean, it's just, that thing will drop shut. Beautiful. This is a QSP. It's the QSP Leopard. All right, it's a little small, doesn't have a full grip, but again, the quality of this QSP is very, very good. I would say Petrified Fish and QSP are very close. Ball bearings, I like that. Spear type point, the grind is beautiful. This has a polished edge. They polished it up very nice. It's smooth, and this thing is razor blade, super razor sharp coming to you. I took the pocket clip off that one because I don't like the feel of it. I like it without it. So this will fit in my pocket. QSP Leopard, green micarta. Here we go with a Civivi. This one I like. It's got carbon fiber frame.